Hello, and welcome to the 42nd episode of Roll for Woodworking, the series where we decide the fate of our next woodworking project. And on today's episode, we're going to be using our Liquid Core Star Cluster set. Let's see what we get. And just like last episode, we have the lucky opportunity of rolling at disadvantage 2 episodes in a row. That wild magic kicks my butt a little bit. Let's see what we get. A big old mess. Let's see, a 20 Turner's Choice, that would have been awesome. And a 14 going with a rolling pin. Interesting. Alright, so when it comes to the rolling pins, the size of my lathe is really the biggest factor here. So we're going to go with a D12 and hope to God it's bigger than 9 inches. Because that's usually the smallest rolling pin sizes are 9 inches. 12 inches, that's a big ol' hefty rolling pin. Alright, I found 7 pieces of wood that might work for it. I'm a little skeptical on a few of these, so I have a feeling that Savage Attacker might be used. That is 6. Buckeye. Yeah, I'm figured I was going to have to use that Savage Attacker. So let's see if we get something besides 6. 5. Walnut. I think I can make that one work. long overdue, but we're finally on to our finishing roll, which I have 2 food safe finishes that should be able to cover this project. I am dangerously low on beeswax, so I only have the beeswax mineral oil and the tung oil available for this roll. That being said, instead of flipping a coin, I'm going to do a d20. Odds are tung oil, evens are beeswax. Let's see what we get. That is a 19 tung oil. Should be all right. I've only used it a few times, but it's a pretty easy finish. And there we have our 12-inch rolling pin made out of walnut, finished with tung oil. Now, this episode took 2 weeks primarily because work last week just kind of screwed me over really well. Lots and lots of overtime, but that check's going to be nice. But overall, this has been an amazing project. I went sort of a mixture of French style and American style rolling pins, with the French style being basically one solid piece, and the American style with some sort of like handle piece to help with rolling. So, and from what I can tell, like I see no gaps underneath it at all. So this thing is about as straight as I can make it without being perfectionist about it. So that all being said, like I said, I'm gonna give this a solid. I want to give it a 10 out of 10, but the delay in the video and a few imperfections that my perfectionist eye sees, I'm going to go with a 9 out of 10 on this one. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. So be sure to share it around with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye.